Tim Pancakes!
Hello everybody, Tim Pancakes here, and today I am ranking the Sims 4 base game Townies. As I was sitting down for dinner enjoying my caprese salad and chicken strips and potato wedges from Albertson's Deli, I put on some YouTube to unwind after a long work day, and Taylor from the Sims YouTube channel Taylorsaurus ranked all the Sims 4 Townies for the base game. And she invited us to do the same. So I thought, you know what? I haven't posted a video in a little while, so I made a list, and let's talk Townies. So there are 8 families that ship with the base game. They live in either Willow Creek or in Oasis Springs, and so I'm just combining them onto one list, which is what Taylor did, and ranking them from worst to the best. So, coming in at number 8 is the Caliente family. I hate everything about this family in The Sims 4. This is a recycling of a family from The Sims 2, the Calientes, which consisted of the 2 sisters, Nina and Dina Caliente. They were both in a relationship, albeit a secret one, with Don Lothario, who was also engaged to Cassandra Goth, and in a relationship with the town maid Kaylin. So that was ripe for drama, and they really did it right the first time. Coming to The Sims 4, they created the Caliente family with Nina and Dina again. However, they retconned the mom. Instead of being the name that appears on the family tree in The Sims 2 of their deceased mother, which I can't pronounce the name, but I think it's Nagat, they created Katrina to be the hot new mom in The Sims 4. Additionally, the Sims have all been whitewashed. The last name Caliente, it's a Spanish name, and they did have a darker skin complexion in The Sims 2, but in The Sims 4, they just look like a bunch of white people. Also living in the household is Don Lothario. However, he's not dating Nina and Dina, he's dating the mom, Katrina. So they just completely changed the storyline for this family. Like Taylor mentioned, it seemed like they were all thrown together within 5 minutes. It was rushed, it was horrible, it didn't need to be done. They stripped them of their cultural relevance, and I just don't like anything about them. So, number 8, Calientes. While we're on the subject of completely changing a family's dynamic, let's talk about the Landgrabs, number 7 on my list. So Nancy and Jeff Landgrab are the mom and dad, their son is Malcolm, and in this iteration of the game, the parents have opposing jobs. One of them is like a law enforcement person. The other one is trying to be an evil villain. And so they are set up to be at odds with each other that way. And then their son Malcolm is just evil. I don't really care for the house that they live in. It doesn't feel like the same Landgrab family that we've seen in The Sims 3 and then in The Sims 2 with Malcolm Landgrab IV. So I just, they missed the mark for me this time on the Landgrab family. Number 6 is the Roomies household, and part of that is because they gave us 2 households, the Roomies and the BFF, which is just a bunch of roommates living together. And so I feel like they probably could have just done one of those. With the Roomies, it's basically 2 girls, I think it's Summer and Liberty, and they're living with Travis. They're living with Travis. I didn't really prepare for this video. So Liberty and Summer are living with Travis, and they both have a crush on him. So it's just a typical love triangle. Nothing really that exciting going on. Their house isn't really that great either. And so, I don't know. There wasn't really much there. I will say that I used Travis to impregnate one of my Sims, so I guess I used him for that. Number 5 is the Zest family. So now is where we're kind of starting to get interesting. Johnny Zest is a single Sim living alone. He's an aspiring comedian, but Zest is his stage name, and Johnny Zest is his stage name. So we actually don't know if his real name is Johnny. His former last name is Landgrab. But he was cut off from the Landgrabs because he just wasn't really their vibe, He wanted to be a comedian. They are rich and powerful and evil and good, so there was no time for Johnny. And I like that idea, but on the family tree, there's no relation. The only reason you would ever think that Johnny was related to the Landgrabs is that it's mentioned in his bio, which at least they did that. But even then, you don't know. Is he Malcolm's brother, or is he Jeffrey's brother, or is he Nancy's brother? In previous versions of the game, land grab went down the matriarchal line. It was Nancy's last name, and Jeffrey decided, oh, I'll take it. But, or maybe that's this game. I don't remember now. I really didn't prepare for this. Either previously it was matriarchal and Jeffrey just adopted the last name, or that's what they're doing this time, and previously land grab was traditionally running down the male line. I don't remember which way it was, but either way they changed it for The Sims 4, and I'm not here for it. I will say that family trees didn't ship with the original base game, but they have since been added, and it would have just been really nice for that attention to detail to play out with regard to Johnny being a part of the family, even though the names had changed and they don't have any relationships. Also, them not having relationships was just kind of a miss for me too, because Johnny doesn't know anyone in the land grab family, so you want me to believe that he was a part of the family? The next family on my list was Taylor's number 8, and that is the Spencer Kim Lewis family. So I get it. Taylor, I understand. It's kind of boring. So this family, there's a mother and a father and their grown child who are married to each other and their child. Does that make sense? So it's a little weird that they're all living under one roof, and they're kooky that way. It's the Spencers, it's the Kims, it's the Lewises, but I like that they tried something different. They didn't just regurgitate a family that was popularized by a previous game. They actually introduced someone new. So yeah, is it kind of boring? Sure. But, and their house was a little weird too. Like, none of the houses in this game are good. But I liked that they tried. So for that reason, they are number 4 on my list. Number 3 is the BFF household. And so the only reason that I didn't rank them right down there next to the Roomies household, because honestly they're so interchangeable, I can't really remember the difference between them, is that this is based off of the cast of New Girl. So there's a quirky girl, and then 3 male roommates, and there's like a smart one, and an athletic one, and a rich one, and a down-to-earth guy. And so I liked that it was inspired by the New Girl, but not completely just replicating them. And because it was more interesting than the BFF household, again, we really only needed one household of roommates. But because they had that New Girl tie-in, I went ahead and ranked it as my number 3. Number 2 is the Goth family. So Bella and Mortimer and Cassandra and Alexander, they are classic, and they didn't mess with them. Now, the Goths also got a bit whitewashed. They're not as tan as they used to be. And Bella's back. You know, the Sims team has established that this is an alternate life timeline. So in The Sims 2, when Bella was disappeared and missing, and where's Bella, that was the big to-do for The Sims 2. Now in The Sims 4, they're back, and they're just the Goths. Whatever. So I'm okay with it. Like, at least they didn't completely change them like they did the land grabs and the Calientes. They kind of kept to what they were, but what I really just wished is that the Sims team had just left well enough alone, left these huge, like, staple families in the past, and then tried something new. Introduce us to new families and new lore and new characters to be interested in. Or they could have continued the timeline. So The Sims 4 could have come in after The Sims 2, where maybe instead of Bella and Mortimer, it's Cassandra as an adult, and she's married with a kid or two, and maybe she's wearing kind of that sassy red dress now. Like, it would have been fun to play with that, but instead, they just gave us back more of what we already know. But at least it didn't change them, and because they are so iconic, I had to put them as my number 2. So that's the Goth family, number 2. And then number 1, the Pancakes. I feel like it would be wrong for me as Tim Pancakes not to rank the Pancakes family as number 1. And that's not the only reason, though. Again, I like that they're new. They didn't just regurgitate a previous family that they found success with. I like that they started off with Bob and Betty in separate bedrooms. It was kind of cool how when they did patch toddlers into the game, they gave an established family a toddler. So like you saw in a game where there's no depth and no development, you saw a little bit of it with the Pancakes family and their family growing. I did not appreciate that it was basically sold as having a kid to fix their marriage, because you should never do that. But I take issue with every single family on this list. I can find something that's wrong with them, whether it's from the development or the execution or the house they're living in. Like, nobody really nailed it for me. But the pancakes are number one in my book. They're pretty iconic for The Sims 4. We haven't seen them before. They are loosely based off of the Newbie family, which was... Oh my god, I said Betty Pancakes. They're my number one, but I don't know their names. Sorry, wow. So Eliza and Bob Pancakes are loosely inspired off of Bob and Betty Newbie from The Sims 1, which is the tutorial family that you play. And Elizabeth can be broken into Betty or Eliza, and then of course Bob. And then, I mean, when I first booted up the game and I saw the last name Pancakes, I did kind of roll my eyes because what kind of last name is that? But once you get over that, you know, it's a couple, they have some marital problems, their house is not good, but it's not as bad as some of these other houses. And I like that they had separate bedrooms, and it felt like the one household that kind of had a story that you were just dropped in the middle of, and you could play it out however you felt like it. Whereas the other ones, they just seemed kind of, I don't know, they seemed off to me. So that's my list. Comment below and let me know how you would rank these townies. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? My list is very different than Taylor's, so definitely go check her video out. I will link it down below. And let me know if you like this kind of content. This is just me casually having dinner and chatting about The Sims. I haven't put a lot of effort into this, so let me know if you like this or if you want more structure in the future. I will talk to you again next time. That's a stack.